Hi friends, it is so good to see you. It is Saturday here in Philadelphia and I'm coming to you from the city, from my kitchen. And today it's all about elevating a classic, delicious dessert just in time for the holidays or fall and winter even. You don't even need a holiday for this. And that is trying the Basque cheesecake, which has been very popular as of late. I know I had not known about it until I started seeing it, I think over a year ago on social media, and then made one myself last spring, and or maybe it was 2 spring, it might have been over a year ago, it might have been 2023, and it is divine, absolutely delicious. So I'm Philly, and welcome to my kitchen. So just so you know, all of the information is down below. I am adapting some recipes that I saw to make my own distinct version, and I'll tell you the story about that in just a minute. But down below you'll find, with this one actually, all the measurements, since it is unique to my recipe, as well as the ones that inspired me. I believe I have links to those, and also to the pumpkin bread that inspired me. So I know pumpkin has kind of gotten a bad rap, and it makes me sad because I don't think pumpkin did anything wrong to any of us. I think pumpkin was really just going out being pumpkin-y, coming out for Halloween, making some jack-o'-lanterns. People were roasting seeds, you know, and frankly, ever since I was a little girl, I always had pumpkin bread. My mom made it, I believe, at Thanksgiving and at Christmas. So both times, if I recall, we had pumpkin bread, and I loved it. I mean, who does not love a sweet and moist quick bread? So I was on the board with that. And I think that then, and I'm not naming any names, but I think a certain coffee place kind of got everyone really excited about a pumpkin spice coffee, and then everyone was doing it. And pretty soon we were finding pumpkin spice in cookies and chips and places that we did not want pumpkin spice. And I think everyone, and I understand it, was like, enough with the pumpkin spice, which really isn't pumpkin, by the way. It is just pumpkin spice. And they kind of like, it hit a bit backlash. It's kind of like when you have that song that comes on either through Spotify or your radio or wherever you're hearing it first, and you love it, and then all of a sudden it's being played everywhere, and then you're sick of it, right? That's kind of what happens. So I feel like pumpkin spice, that kind of happened too. But I don't think we have to shun it. Now, if you just don't like pumpkin, then don't do it this way. Add a different flavoring or make it the classic way. And again, that link's below so that you can make it the classic way, because it is divine. However, and actually it's even a little bit simpler not using pumpkin. However, if you like pumpkin and you like those warm spices that we use a lot in the fall and winter, then this is the recipe for you. So let me get started. Let me see who's joined the chat. Let me get this is not a good setup because I cannot get to what I need to get to. Let me move the pumpkin over here. I've got lots of ingredients. So hey Barbara, how are you? How are things? Did you get snow? Or not? Like I feel like in the city, I didn't even see snow. So I wasn't sure if you saw snow, and if you got some, how much snow did you get? Over here, for anyone that is not from the East Coast, the East Coast was really in quite a bit of a drought. And I know we're very much used to seeing drought conditions out west, Midwest at times, and that's horrible. We typically, there's been a few years, I remember where we were having a little bit of drought conditions, but typically not this time of year. So it was very different. We were having lots of wildfires around here, and it's very atypical for this area. So we were so excited when the rain came, and I was really excited, hoping to see snow, because I know Barbara and I we love us some snow. But I really did not see one flake. I was a little disappointed in that. But we got some cool temperatures. And DS, oh my goodness, hey DS and hey DS family, hi Ruby, I love it. I'm so glad. I've missed you guys, and I'm so glad to have you on here. And DS said that cheesecake's my favorite dessert. I make a pumpkin cheesecake, not to be confused with cheesesteak. By the way, no one in Philly would ever do this. No one ever think about making pumpkin spice cheesesteak. That is a terrible idea. That's like what I was saying. Way too many products. But a cheesecake, DS, wonderful. Is it more of a traditional styled cheese steak? Oh, cheesecake. Oh my gosh, Hubs. For anyone that's coming on the first time, my flips of words happen, so my apologies. But you know, I know, because now it's in my brain, and the problem is, like, once you have it in there, now it's like not going to leave. But question, DS. So I'm curious, the cheesecake that you make, is it without a crust? Is it crustless pumpkin cheesecake? Or is it one that has a crust? And if it does have a crust, does it have like, ginger cookies or gingerbread crumbs? Or I'm just curious what you do because you make such fabulous things. By the way, if you have not checked out the Food Plane DS, has a website, a YouTube page called The Food Plane, so be sure and check him out. And he has not tried the burnt style. Oh, the burnt style, that caramelization. And it is funny, I will say Basque cheesecakes take you to your edge of burn because it's about as dark as you've ever allowed anything to get, but it does not taste burnt at all. It really just creates this kind of caramely flavor because when we made that first one, I was sold. And actually, my son Matt, who does a lot of cooking, he has made it in a loaf pan at least twice, and he's hooked as well. And Barbara said you got a little and loved it. So jealous, Barbara. I hope we get some. And it was mixed with rain. So yeah, but I'm glad it was mixed with rain because we needed some. Oh, hello, Ruby. It's good to see you too. It's a New York style cheesecake with ginger crust. That's why I was wondering that. Don't you think, DS, those little tweaks, those little something kind of are what elevates something that is a little bit more simple, right? Like a cheesecake is in of itself a little simple. It's decadent, but it's simple. So having that ginger crust gives it that little something. I love it. New York style. No, I knew what you meant. So, and that's to my point with the spices. Okay, so if you look up pumpkin Basque cheesecake, you will see many different versions. One of the things I liked about the original version is I followed it from, in fact, let me get my notes. I followed it from the King Arthur baking site, which by the way, they have a very nice cooking site for baking. And I highly recommend it if you've not checked out their site, their website. They are a great resource. And especially for someone that's earlier in your cooking journey, they give you so many details that really help. You see through a dish, you see through whatever you're creating. So I very much recommend that. And I actually enjoy reading their information. And I know a lot of people that blog, that food blog, which I do not, by the way. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I just with having a job, and like it's just hard for me to do all that with being a teacher. So, but I know with blogs, sometimes they get a bad rap because there is sometimes a story behind it, and people that are looking for recipes just want to get to the recipe oftentimes, and which they do now have buttons that say jump to recipes, so thank you. That makes it a lot easier, especially if we're in a pinch or in a rush. However, sometimes you do need that background information because it's a kind of dish that you kind of need the tips and tricks to help you have success with that dish. So King Arthur baking is really good. The other person that I adapted and inspired me from was from Half Baked Harvest, and her recipe also was one. I looked at quite a few. Hers was one I kind of zoned in on, as well as from King Arthur. But I made some changes. So you'll see the recipe down below. Let me go over the ingredients. We're going to be using 1 and just a half packages of cream cheese, full fat, and that equals about 12 ounces. We're also going to be using 1.5 cups plus 2 tablespoons of just regular sugar, and 2 large eggs at room temperature. And the reason all this room temperature stuff, by the way, is helps it first of all have the same temperature, and it helps it blend well together. Heavy cream, which I do want to get out because actually I should have gotten that out because that will be a bit cold. So let me get that out. So get the heavy cream out, let it warm up a little bit. Actually, that'll block my chat, so let me move that. We're also going to be using vanilla, and this is my first time. I'm so excited that, let me just give it a little shake. I'm using the vanilla that my nieces made me. I think there's vodka was what they used with it. And I had to let it wait. It was made about a little over a year ago, and I had to wait 6 months, but I thought I'd wait till this time of year, same as when they started making it. And so we are going to use it. Let me just smell it. So this was a lovely gift, which is a great gift idea. Oh, it smells amazing. I wish there was smell-o-vision. Yes, so I'm going to be using their vanilla. I was a little torn as to whether I wanted to use vanilla in this recipe because of the fact that the original King Arthur recipe that I used originally, did not call for it. Some Basque cheesecakes do call for vanilla. The one they had didn't, and I don't think you needed it. The reason I decided to use some vanilla, it's just a teaspoon, was because pumpkin squash, which is a kind of squash, it has a definite, like I love the flavor, but it also, I thought it might help round it out a little bit. The spices, of course, will add some flavor, but I thought the vanilla might actually help round it out a little bit, taking it from the savory to the sweet zone. So that's why I decided to go ahead. I actually would love to try it sometime without and see if I even need it, but for today's stream, I am going to include it. And then this is where I get unique, because first of all, you could definitely use, and I even have this, but I rarely use it, something that's called pumpkin pie spice. You can buy it, and it has a variety of those warm spices in it. I think it includes cinnamon, nutmeg, maybe allspice and ginger. There might be even another one thrown in there. But the pumpkin pie, the pumpkin bread that I love, that I've made for my family for years. It's not the one I grew up on, which I loved. It was delicious. But I found this recipe in a cookbook my sister gave me years ago. And that's the one, the video is down below. So if you want to see that, that is not a live stream, by the way. That's just a pure cooking video. So it's less chatty from Philly, more like get to the recipe if you like that sort of thing. So be sure and check it out. I'm going to use the spices in that because I actually really love the spices. They are not just a pumpkin pie spice, and they aren't even always the typical pumpkin bread spices. In that one, we do equal amounts cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves. And to me, the depth of spice is really, it's what to me makes the pumpkin bread I make a little more unique, and I love it. So if you prefer not to do these spices, you could definitely just put 1.5 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice, or do your own mixture and put that in. So that's totally up to you. So I'm going to use a 1/2 teaspoon cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon nutmeg, and 1/2 teaspoon cloves. Then we're also going to use some salt, which I did not bring around, so I need to get that. And then flour. So the reason we're using flour, which by the way, you could use gluten-free flour. The reason we're using flour, because I did a little research with this, because the Basque cheesecake I made did not use any flour, which I loved because my sister is gluten-free, and actually my niece is, one of my nieces is as well. So what was nice is that it was a naturally gluten-free dessert. But because the pumpkin has water in it, it needs some of that flour to kind of help it firm up within the cheesecake. So we just are using 2 tablespoons of flour. The other thing I'm doing, since this is not fresh roasted pumpkin, it's from a can, is I have put it in a colander with, and I didn't have any cheesecloth left, so I just put some paper towels down just to help get some of that extra moisture out. I don't want you to obsess about it because that is what the flour is for, but I did want to just get some of that extra moisture out so that it doesn't make for a weepy cheesecake. I do think that from what I've read about the results of many of these, that the longer the cheesecake sits, the more it has a chance of weeping. So I would recommend you not making this days in advance for best results. For me, I probably wouldn't make it any more than a day in advance when you want to serve it. So yes, so that's about all the talkie. Let me take a look and see the chat. So Barb said, I'm on that site all the time because I love to bake. I know you love to bake. Barb, what are you most excited about baking this time of year? I'd love to know that. Great flowers, absolutely. Yes, so I know a lot of it's been recalled. This I got was from Simply Organic, and I believe, because I did a check on it, this one was not on any of the lists. So I know we have to be careful. It's so sad. I feel like we have to be careful. I just actually had to get rid of carrots from the recall. I just feel like every week there's a new thing being recalled. And so, in fact, I was just telling Cubs I need to throw away all my black utensils here. So, and I ordered some wooden ones that are coming in. I just, I feel like, but it is good to be informed, and it's good to be aware of what we're putting in our bodies. I think that's a good thing. So let's begin. So this is super easy. I'm gonna go wash my hands. Someone was asking me about if it was difficult and to make the Basque cheesecake, and I actually think it's quite easy. And the way King Arthur's site does it is in the food processor. So if you don't have a food processor, you absolutely could use a blender. a mixer, excuse me, and frankly, I think you could use a blender too, if your blender was decent. But I love the idea that all I'm going to do is I'm going to measure off the dry ingredients. I'm going to whisk them together. I'm going to measure off the wet ingredients and let them whiz up here in the food processor. And then I'm going to combine and I'll be good to go. So I kind of am excited about that. Also, I'm using a food processor that's my sister's because she wasn't using it anymore. Mine, as you know, I've had many problems with, oh my goodness, these gadgets. So let me just put this over here. So this is my first time using hers. So yeah, I hope you know how good I am with getting lids on things. So yeah, so hopefully this one will not give me many problems. So let's just see here. Let me just get it on first so I can see what oh, this looks so much easier. It's an Oster. So I just got to put this on. Oh, now, yeah, it looks so much easier. Okay, I'm excited about that. And then I just push my buttons and I'm good to go. So let's get the wet ingredients into here. Now I can't get it off. There we go. There we are. I guess I didn't really need to take it off the base, but oh, I just like it being down here. So I'm going to put 1.5 of these in. So Barb said, I don't understand because all these spices have been called. I know. I think, Barbara, I just think, to be honest, I just think in some plants, and I also think within how we're harvesting things, I just think there's, I don't know, cross-contamination, oversight, I don't know. I'm not sure what the answer is, but I do feel like it just happens all the time, and I think we just have to be wary and know where we're getting our foods from. Honestly, if we didn't live in the city, I would probably definitely consider having a garden, more of a garden outside, but that isn't an option for me for where I live. Now, I do have a market nearby that does get a lot of their produce and things like that from local farms, so that's where I'm buying my carrots, because I need carrots for my turkey stock that I'm going to be making this week for the broth and for that goes into my stuffing. So yeah, so that's where I'm going to be getting my carrots. Now with this one, we just need 1/2, so I'm just going to cut this one in half. I'm just going to eyeball it. So we need 1.5 of these. And then Barb also said she's making a ricotta pie and a brown sugar sweet potato pie. Very yummy. That sounds delicious. Which, it's funny, when I was opening this up, I think I'd read before where a lot of canned pumpkin is actually squash. So I was looking at this stuff. I'm like, I wonder what you are. But honestly, whether you're putting squash or sweet potato I think would be great in this. It's just kind of mixing it up a little bit, making a little more, I don't know, fall, winter, just giving it that little nuance. And again, I think someone else asked if you could, do other flavors easily, and absolutely, because in your drying, you could add some cocoa powder to this to make it chocolate. I know Barbara and I were talking about that. Let me just get a knife real quick. But I think there's many flavors you could do here. You could put orange peel in it maybe and a little bit of, triple sec and kind of give it a little bit of an orange basque. I just think there's so many different versions, and I think this is an easy one to play around with. I think you only have to watch is when you're adding something that has a lot of liquid, like pumpkin has a lot of liquid. So I think that's where you need to be a bit careful that you have some flour to make sure and counteract that, so to speak. And by the way, there are, I think, some Basque cheesecake recipes where they do have flour. I have nothing against flour. I love pasta, I love bread, all that kind of thing. But again, this one was a natural gluten-free recipe, which I liked for my sister. And I just think if you don't need it, you don't need it. Now, again, this we will need because of the pumpkin, but in any event. I'm just going to put this in the fridge so I can get that wrapped up proper. So I'm going to dump in my pumpkin or squash or whatever it actually is. Let me just take it out of there. And so this thing got like a nice amount of moisture on it. So we got some of it out. So I think that's good. All right, let me get my tablespoons and teaspoons for my spices. And here we're going to be putting in 1 teaspoon of vanilla, of the homemade vanilla. Again, you can use whatever vanilla you have. And again, I think that probably this could be left out, but I'm going to add it today. There we go, teaspoon of vanilla. Oh, it smells divine. It smells so good. Yep, tastes like vanilla. So I believe to make it, because they were talking to me about it when they gave it to me as a gift last year at Christmas. So I don't know if you can see. First of all, they had this cute bottle, and they made this adorable, label that I think you just buy these labels. And then there's vanilla beans in there, and they're soaking in. I think you have to have a spirit that they're soaking in. I think vodka is one of the ones, and I think maybe grain alcohol is another one. So I believe they used vodka. So it's just cool. I just love how it can be, something can be really simple. And then you're controlling the processing, kind of what we're talking about, Barbara. You're controlling the processing, you're controlling it all. All right, now let's get our eggs in there. Now this is one thing that because I do get in the weeds on stuff, especially with baking. So in the King Arthur Basque Cheesecake, in the full recipe, he uses 5 eggs. So I actually split an egg when I made it, because for the air fryer, they recommend just having the recipe. So I'm literal with that, so I halved an egg. So I thought about doing that for this, but these were pretty big eggs, and I noticed other ones where they didn't do more than 2 eggs. So again, you're just trying to figure out what might work best. Okay, let me just check. Let me check one more thing. Yeah, okay, I just want to make sure everything was centered. I really wasn't checking my camera. I'm like, oh, hopefully I haven't totally cut my head off. And then the last thing we need, because we have our cream cheese, our egg or pumpkin, our vanilla, is we need heavy cream, and we are going to be putting the sugar in here. I know sugar is a dry ingredient, but we want the sugar to actually dissolve in this. So that's why sugar will go in here. And then the dry ingredients will just be the flour, the spices, and the salt. Speaking of which, let me get the salt over here. And for our heavy cream, we only need, I believe, 6 ounces only. This was on sale, so I got this one. Usually I get the ones in the carton, but we're all trying to save some money. So this one was on sale. There we go. Excellent. All right, so we need 6 ounces. Now, I don't know, I think I might have mentioned it to you all on one of the sites. By the way, if you're not following me, be sure to follow and subscribe to Philly Live here on YouTube. It's free, and that way you know about any of my live streams, or if I drop any videos or shorts. So it's good to do that. However, I'm also on Instagram and Threads, which is a part of Instagram. It's more like the Twitter of Instagram, so to speak, which I have been thoroughly enjoying. Great conversations there. And I also joined Blue Sky. So you can find me on all of those sites. So everything is down below as well, if you are looking for that, all of the links to find me directly. So we're going to need 6 ounces of heavy cream. Let me get that poured. All right, get that in, 6 ounces. Yum. So I had broken my cup measure, so I still need to get a new one. In fact, I should check it out, because I know a lot of places are having Black Friday sales already. Not that they're that expensive, but you might as well get a break when you can. And then the sugar. So for sugar, I need, I believe it's a 1/2 cup plus 2 tablespoons. So let me get my little 1/2 cup measure. There we go. This is all good things for you. Now, this is what dessert is. This is what, this is what it's about. You have to, it's all about moderation, right? And then 2 tablespoons. Why did I put that away? That was silly. 2 tablespoons. So DS, what are you excited about cooking this season? I know Barb was sharing about her ricotta pie and her sweet potato pie, but what are you and Ruby excited about? What do you guys like to eat this time of year? And we haven't even started talking about Thanksgiving. We'll talk about that when everything's baking. So now let's see if I can get this to work. There we go. Get that in. I'm going to tamp that down just a little bit. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Oh, dear. So when I put in one of the ingredients, oh, my Lord, this is going to be interesting. When I put in one of my ingredients, the blade came up, and that is a bit of a problem. Oh, this is going to be fun. All right, let's see if we can get that back down. There we go. Okay, that worked a lot easier than I expected. Oh, it would not be a Philly live stream without a little excitement in the kitchen, right? All of a sudden, I put it in there, and I'm like, whoa, that blade is going to come out. That is not what we want to see. Okay, let's see if I can get it in now. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Maybe I should have kept it. Maybe I should have kept it in here. Oh, we got a little drippage. That's fine. All right. Oh, my goodness. All right, all good. So we have our things in here. We're going to get the lid on. And that's covered. And then we're going to put this on for about 5 minutes. Oh, and it's not turning on. Uh-oh. What am I doing? Okay. Oh, I never thought about it not working. My sister, last time she used it, it worked. Oh, dear. Andy. Yeah. Ah! Okay, so this isn't working. So we're going to transfer this and put this in something else. Because I did throw away my food processor that gave me troubles because hers was nicer. And like I said, she hadn't used it in a while and apparently decided to stop working. Maybe I'm putting this on the Christmas list.
What is that?
No, sweetie, I can't. I gotta keep moving.
Did you try plugging it into another?
It's on. It's green.
I know, just try plugging it into another.
Okay. It's not going to go anyway because it needs to have that connection there till it starts. Okay. No, it's fine. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do, because it'll be quicker, is I'm going to try my blender. So I'm going to show you right away if a blender works. Oh, my word. Oh, friends. You know, if you too can live stream and have your own YouTube channel. You too. Exciting. Have I gotten flushed yet? Oh, yeah, looking a little pink. Okay, all's well. All's well that ends well. We'll see if my Black & Decker blender works. Now, I know we've used that within this past year. Oh, my gosh. So sometimes Hubs tells me that I'm too trusting, meaning like I should have made sure it worked before, but yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. And you know what bugs me most of all is the fact that this all is now a mess. And also it's kind of leaking out the bottom, so I want to make sure I can get these ingredients in here. So yeah. So I'm going to try first getting the cream in here. Oh, wow. This is unfortunate. So hopefully this will go well in the blender. If not, we're going to be transferring this to yet, another container. Oh, wow. Okay, let me just scrape this first and not cut myself, because I have been known to be accident prone. Going very careful. I know there's some on the other side too. I'm just trying to get this pumpkin off, because all of our ingredients are here. Wow. And you know what? Let me see here. Let me just get this here. Sorry, friends. So if you're just joining us, my food processor is not working, so we needed to transfer it to a blender. Now I could, of course, transfer it to a mixer, but my mixer's in a closet that isn't as quick to get out as my blender. So we're going for the blender first. So this might be a 3-transfer live stream. So I need to hear some stories from y'all, like when you've had these kind of things happen, because I feel like this only happens to me. Now, at this point, I do want to make sure I'm getting these ingredients out that I measured. Oh, my word.
You know what I'm thinking?
What are you thinking? They can't hear you. Do you want to put on your, No.
I'm thinking that this means,
No.
This means a lot of dishes for me.
Yes. Although, I don't know if we need to wash the processor, because I think we're going to be throwing it away. Oh, my goodness. I mean, I'm going to try it without the ingredients just to make sure it indeed isn't working, but I don't know why it would all of a sudden start to work. Okay, so we have all of our ingredients. We're going to try the blender. I don't know how well it's going to work. This blender does a pretty good job. I got to put the little thing on. Oops, my goodness. I hate gadgets, by the way. Gadgets are a necessary part of the kitchen life, but I'm telling you, I think that's one of the things I like so much about my air fryer, is my air fryer really does not give me problems. Okay, so this is going to be a bit loud, so I'm going to move it over a little bit, and I'm just going to go to 3, and we'll just let it go. So just to let it go about 5 minutes. I'll push off a second. So let's just see here. So yes, Barbara, you did find me on Blue Sky. I'm so glad that all worked out. And Dia said the handle should be on the side. No, that one, the handle has to actually be on the front because there's a connector underneath the handle that makes it show that it's like set up, if that makes sense. There's like this metal piece on it, which is when it felt locked in place. That one's different than the one I had, but thank you for that. And then Dia says, I love to sprinkle some cinnamon maple syrup on the squash then roast. That does sound fabulous. Well, I will check that, DS, for sure. I just saw your comments now after we already did it, but it does, I'll show you what I mean. Let me get this turned down while I show you, because this is supposed to go for a little bit. See, this one has a sensor here, right there. That lines up with that right there. So anyway, it's all good. Okay, now I'm going to stop it and scrape the sides. Because again, I'm trying to get this totally smooth. Oh, it's coming out pretty nice. By the way, not for nothing, but Nigella Lawson makes her no-churn ice cream in her blender. I think she's the one that I saw do that the first time. Maybe it wasn't her. It was one. I follow so many foodie people. Someone made a no-churn in the blender, and I thought that was wonderful because a lot of, and I don't know if people anymore do, but a lot of times people just always have a blender, it seems. And I think probably for cocktails and milkshakes. Yeah, I'm just going to get some, I see some squash on the side, so I'm just trying to get that down. And I'm going to have it go a little bit higher. And while I'm having it go for the last few minutes, I'm going to mix the dry ingredients. I'm going to mix the flour with the spices and the salt just so it's ready to go in next. I'm going to have this go up a little further. Okay, let's check it out. Let's see here. It's totally smooth, very well blended. Okay, so we're good to go. Now I'm going to add and here it was 2 tablespoons of flour. Again, you could use gluten-free flour. We have a ½ teaspoon cinnamon, a ½ teaspoon nutmeg, and ½ teaspoon cloves. Oh, and the salt. I almost forgot the salt. Because you know, with sweet things, you need that salt. You need that balance of the sweet with the flavor. It really does, as Ina Garten would say, it really makes things taste better. You need a little salt in things. Okay, so we're going to add this, and then we're going to let this go for just till it's blended, maybe about 30 seconds. Let's get that going. Okay, let me show you what that looks like. Oh. The spices also add like a little bit of color, which is cool. So you can see how that looks. Look at that. So it's nice and smooth. Our spices are in there. There we go. Let me put this back. I preheated the oven. I'm going to get my pan ready while it's preheating. So I'm using a 6-inch pan, and the pan for this would need to be at least 2 inches deep. And this I did get online. I think this is the one. Let me just I think that's the one. And it has a nice handle on it, which makes it so convenient. I think this is the one I used last time. Just double check, seeing as I had this is 7-inch. Oh, that's a 6-inch. Oh, I was wrong. See, it's good I did that. This one would be a little big. It would just be flatter. See, it's always good to check, especially when you're nervous and on a live stream. Because one mistake bleeds into another mistake then. And there you go. So what we're going to do for this, so I got these online, and this is like in a set. I think this all came together. I think I've talked about this before. This came together in a set that was a great add-on for my air fryer. And again, this is half the recipe of the King Arthur's. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to get some parchment paper. I'm going to cut out a square. Oh, nothing is working today. Nothing is working today. This works so well on mine. Oh, my word. I think a hot flash is coming on, friends. And then what you do is you crumple it. And the reason is because you want this to come back out smooth, and then you want to put it in the pan. And when you crumple it, you make it much more malleable. There's your word of the day, malleable. And then you're going to put it in your pan, and you just smooth down the sides, and you put the edges over top. Now what I'm going to do, because of the air moving in an air fryer, is I'm going to trim the edges a bit, because what happens is if these edges blow around a lot, they can go up to where the heating element is, and they can get a little toasty, which we don't want. So I like trimming off the edge of this. If you're doing it in a convection oven, you don't need to do that, but in an air fryer, I would highly recommend. So let me show you what I did. So after I pushed it all in, I smoothed the sides. What's cool about this is this is what makes that really cool shape of the Basque cheesecake, because then you have all this texture around that comes through. It gets brown, and it just kind of comes through. It gets most brown on top, but it really turns into this very cool look on the outside. It's very, to me, it's very rustic, which I love. There's something, besides it tasting amazing, there's something just, I don't know, much more like home, family, simple about it. It's not meant to be this exquisitely made pastry. It's really this dessert that just looks like a lot of love went into it. So I like to trim off the edges because I don't like any of those flying up and touching the burner units. So our pan is ready, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to dip or pour this in to our pan. And you probably wonder what I'm thinking. I'm just trying to see, like, okay, I'm just going to trust the process. Okay, I'm just going to stop there because I'm trying to remember, because there is more. So because I added the pumpkin, that added a little more volume to it. So this, making it in here, I'm going to have a little bit of leftover. So that's why I'm like, why is this filling up so much faster? And my air fryer is ready, if you heard that. So I'm just going to taste this, by the way. Oh, that tastes good. Let me have Hubs taste. See, I love these spices. On taste? Just put your finger. Do that. Good.
Oh, good.
He was so impressed. It's good. Alrighty, so this is ready to go in, and then we are going to bake it in the air fryer for 25 minutes. At 25 minutes, then we are going to be checking it to see how it's done. See if it's jiggly in the center. We're going to take a temperature, and we want the temperature to be around 185. If you don't have a thermometer, you can just eyeball it. We'll talk a little bit about that when it starts baking. Be careful putting it in that you don't burn yourself, and I'm going to get my tool out that's going to help me not burn myself when we get it out. Okay, so we have 400 for 25 minutes. Let me put that up, and I'm going to check on it halfway through. So on air fryers, you can hit the shake button, and that way it'll beep halfway through so we can give a check on it. All right, so let me get some of this. Oh, this is good. See, I'm really glad I did the spices. It's totally give me that vibe of my pumpkin bread that I make. But again, you can use whatever variety of spices you want that you like in your pumpkin breads. Or again, if you just want to buy pumpkin pie spice, you could use 1.5 teaspoons of that. So it's truly up to you. I just love the combination of cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove, personally. So let's just tidy up a bit, and I'm going to check on the chat. Let's see. So, yes. And DS says, these live situations challenges are great because someone else might have the same issue and you showed them it's not over. Yes, thank you, DS. And I agree. because, you know, a lot of times, to your point, DS, a lot of times these situations happen to us in the kitchen, and we're just cooking, we're just, you know, thinking, I'm going to bake some cookies today. Then all of a sudden we run into a problem, and we're like, wait, this was supposed to be easy. So I always feel like there are workarounds, but don't you think sometimes this happens when you're like cooking for Thanksgiving, or you're cooking for a dinner party, or having people over, or cooking for your significant other, or something special. So then we tend to be a little bit more anxious. But in the end, you just want to mix it well. You want to make it smooth. You want everything to incorporate. You don't want any chunks of cream cheese or parts of the egg white. You want it to all incorporate well together. And actually, we wanted the sugar to dissolve into those liquid ingredients so that it would flavor it and not be grainy. So as long as those things happen, you're good to go. So let me talk to you a little bit about Thanksgiving. So what do y'all have going on for Thanksgiving? Do you have any? First of all, my question is, and by the way, if you just joined us, we just put in our Pumpkin Basque Cheesecake to cook in the air fryer, and we'll be checking on it in a little bit, but just tidying up, and I can't wait for the big ta-da at the end. But I did want to know 2 questions from you all that would like to chat. If you've just joined us, come say hi, and if you don't feel like chatting, you don't have to say anything more. And if you just want to wave quietly from your couch or wherever you are, you can do that too. I'm glad you came. But back to the questions. So for Thanksgiving, number 1, are there any non-traditional foods? When I say traditional foods, when I think of a typical American Thanksgiving, it's turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, cranberry sauce. Like those are to me like the most. And then sometimes people would say the green bean casserole. Other people might say candied sweet potatoes. Like they kind of run the gamut. But then after that, there's so many other things. And I know some people that have lasagna at their Thanksgiving. Other people, you know, have other dishes that are per their family's cuisine. So what is something non-traditional that you serve at your Thanksgiving? And what's the favorite thing you have at Thanksgiving? So I'd love to know, for anyone that's watching, as well as DS and Barb, I'd love to know what you guys think about that. So yes, so by the way, and I put this down below, if you don't have, DS was asking about the air fryer. The reason why I made this first one like over a year ago in the air fryer was because, you know, we're empty nesters, so it's just Hubs and I. And I don't find that I often want to make something really big unless we're having a big crowd. And that doesn't happen all the time. So I like the idea of something smaller that could be a nice gift to bring over to someone, and it isn't this huge, humongous, you know, cheesecake. The other thing I thought is just for us, it'd be nice, something smaller, again, not around forever. Not that we would mind eating it, but I don't think we need to eat like a whole half a cheesecake through the process of a week. So that's why I'm doing that there. I just want to check on something real quick. I'll tell you why. Oh, no, it's all good. Okay. So you always go by your smells, and I was smelling something, and I wanted to just check and make sure it wasn't anything bad. So if you ever smell something from your oven and you're not quite sure, do peek at it. And you don't have to necessarily open it up. In the air fryer, you do, because you can't see unless you open it up. But I just wanted to make sure all was well. But back to what we were saying is, you know, you could do this in the oven. In the oven, I believe the temperature is the same. No, I'm sorry, it isn't the same. I put this down below. The temperature would be 500, which is really high. And if your oven doesn't go that high, just do it the highest it can. And you put it in the middle rack, and just check on it. Check on it after 25 minutes. And again, if you have a thermometer, check it with that. If not, you just want it to be set on the edges, but a bit jiggly in the middle. You do want a bit jiggly in the middle. This one, the Basque style cheesecake is very, very custardy inside. It is not, it's similar to a regular cheesecake in texture, but it is different. It's more, I think it's more smooth and a little bit more decadent. And anyway, so yeah, so just, you can definitely do this in the oven. If you have a convection oven, I would recommend using your convection for that. And because of that, I would say go to at least 450 convection, and you could even try the 475. I probably would try the 450 first and see how it went, because you could always cook it longer. I think it'll get plenty brown on top. So yes, so this does not have to be made in an air fryer. And I should have, thank you for mentioning that, DS. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. This can be cooked the traditional way. Just like you can mix it in a variety of different ways, you can cook it in a variety of different ways. The main thing is you do want to have parchment paper around the edges. If you are using a more traditional, some people make like double this and put it in like a springform pan. You'd want to do the same thing that I did, but have two rectangular sheets of parchment paper, crumple them up, smooth out the one, and then smooth out the other. You want them to overlap, and the main thing is sometimes there can be a little bit that seeps out because it is, quite loose, that could seep in between. So that's the main thing. But that's what's nice about making in the smaller containers is that way, you're not worrying about the seepage. The other thing you could do, just thinking about it, is you could just make, like my son does, make it in a loaf pan. He just makes it in a pan like this. And you just crumple up the paper, you smooth it around the edges, and you just slice. It's a different kind of slice. You're not getting triangles, you're getting slices that way. So lots of options. Never let a certain thing you don't have prevent you from doing a recipe. Just try to think creative, and if you have any questions about it, put them down below. And if you're watching this as a video, just pop it down below, because I do get notified when there's questions, so I'm glad to help out with that. Hey Archie, good to have you on. How are you and Amy doing this Saturday, this Catterday, as you would say? Yeah, so it's funny, Barb, I agree with you. And I see, yes, you're asking about Blue Sky. So I'm not getting the curated feed that I'm used to seeing when I was on Twitter, which was very foodie forward. I'm getting a mix. So one of the reasons I left Twitter was it was becoming very stressful. It wasn't my foodie friends, but there was a lot. It was just the whole algorithm was changing, and it just was not fun going on to it anymore. And so with Blue Sky, I have not found the right mix. I've tried, even when I go to people I follow, it just seems like, I don't know, I'm not getting, I like to have just really food content, dogs, maybe travel, maybe some art, like that's kind of my sweet spot, but mostly food. And I'm not, to Barbara's point, I'm not really enjoying the feeds as much. I'm trying to be patient. I try to go on, like obviously I'm going to go on, I'm going to promote my streams, and when I'm cooking something in the kitchen, I'll share it there, but I'm not finding I'm, what's the word? Like going on just to browse, because I'm not enjoying the browse. Instagram on the way. I don't know how you feel, Barbara, but I love Instagram threads. I feel like it is and I don't know if it's just the community I'm in, but based on who I'm following and stuff, because not a lot of people that I follow on Instagram are necessarily on threads, but the ones that are and the ones I've now connected with, it's just such a warm and fuzzy, encouraging, informational. I love it. And it's like all these conversations. I think I did a post about it. I kind of said, you feel like you're dropping in and seeing all these little conversations that are intriguing, and you are more than welcome to put your 2 cents in, and it's just not anxiety. There's just not the anxiety on Threads. So I'm loving Threads right now. I just feel like, for me personally, it is it's feeding my need to connect with other people and foodies, and not stressing me out, because none of us need more stress in our lives, right? What do you think about Arch? I'd love to know your opinion. And DS says, our family is half Puerto Rican and half Jewish. So along with traditional stuff, we make roasted pork shoulder, yum, rice with pigeon peas, and pastels. Pastellis or pastels. Put an E down there if I should say pastellis. I'm not sure which one, and it's Puerto Rican tamales. DS, that sounds amazing. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I love about Thanksgiving, is I feel like there's some traditional foods that might be there, but then there's all these different family foods that have been passed on, which I love. So I think that sounds divine. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And potato salad. So DS was asking, what is your favorite Thanksgiving dish? And Andy too. So Andy, think about what your favorite, oh, I know what his is. I already know what it is. It's stuffing, right? Yeah, he's a stuffing guy. And he likes stuffing with gravy. And I do make a nice gravy, I'm not gonna lie. I've perfected my gravy through the years. So
My second favorite is?
what's your he's asking if I want to know what his second favorite is. What's your second favorite?
My second helping of stuffing.
His second favorite is his second helping of stuffing. That is Hubs, right there. My favorite, you're not gonna like my answer. My favorite is the perfect bite. I love the turkey with some stuffing, a little cranberry sauce, a little mashed potato gravy, and because I just like it all coming together into a nice Thanksgiving party and having that bite that has all of those yummy flavors. But do you know what I go for seconds the next day, even though I love all those foods, is mashed potatoes. Because we don't make traditional mashed potatoes, or I should say, I don't make traditional mashed potatoes, homemade ones a lot. I kind of do the semi-homemade thing where I add to some already made ones. I add roasted cauliflower and all that. He just wrinkled his nose, so we're gonna go peek. We're gonna go peek at this. And I think when I made the basque, I might have had to cover it at some point. Oh, we're halfway through anyways. It's a good time to peek. Let's see. Ooh, see, that's not burnt yet. That's just brown. See that, friends? Yes, nice. All right. How's it look, Hubs?
Smells good.
Smells good. It is jiggly. It's a cheesecake. All right, we've got 13 more minutes. Whoops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to make you all motion sickness there. So that's such a hard question because to me it's how they all come together that makes it yummy. And for me, cranberry sauce has to be in that mix. I love cranberry sauce. Archie says, give a shout out to the, yes, please, Archie. Yes, I saw your post and I did repost that. Archie is in, first of all, another page you want to check out, another YouTube channel, not page, I'm using the wrong language. Another YouTube channel you want to check out is Chef Archie Pie. He makes the best, first of all, I just have to say it because it truly is, I've made his pie, it is amazing. Makes the best pies, savory pies that I've ever had in my life. And he makes so much more. He is very inventive with his food, makes so many different things, lots of crowd pleasers, but lots of different things with Asian flavors as well. He does a fabulous job, so check out his channel. And he is featured in a book called Humble Pie, and that has been released. So, and all the profits go to homeless charities, which I think is just wonderful. So yes, thank you, Archie. Barb, I'm with you. Too much politics. I'm done with politics. I just can't, and that's why Blue Sky is not my jam yet. Again, I'll post there because I know a lot of my foodie friends, from Twitter are there, but it raises my blood pressure. So, and we need to all be, so. Oh, wait, I don't know about that, Arch. And I agree, Archie, it is a project in development, for sure. It's called the Fab Feed. You'll have to give me more information about that. Maybe you can DM me that, Archie, because I don't know, because I know there's a couple other things I've looked at, but I would love more information about that, by the way, Arch. Pasteles, okay. Pasteles, I thought so. Thank you, DS. And you put that out phonetically very well. And Hubs, how are you, Archie wants to know.
Good.
And yes, Archie, I will definitely be hiding the ghost chili under his turkey slice on Thursday, for sure. He said I always do. And Archie said, I'm very close to getting an air fryer. I swore I wouldn't, but I'm the only person in the world who hasn't got one. Well, Arch, I will say, because this is the mama in me, don't get one just because everyone has one. But it was one of those that I was slow to get. The reason, and so then, I think I told this story, I got the one that's looks like a toaster oven, but still moves the air around because I felt that was more practical. And we had been toaster oven people for those times you didn't want to heat up the whole oven to, get something a little crispy. But I found that the toaster oven style doesn't, in my opinion, do quite the texture that my sister would achieve from her traditional air fryer. And then finally, I mean, she didn't get old. It didn't get old with her. Like she just still kept using it, and I knew it was a workhorse in her kitchen. So I decided that I was going to give it a try, and I use it as much as I use my microwave, I would say. And what's also nice is there are times that I'm going full air fryer mode, not using any parchment paper or anything like that. But in the scheme of life, weeknight dinners, I don't have a lot of time. I don't want hubs burdened down with a big old cleanup. I also purchased a couple things that make it a lot more friendly when you're using it a lot of times. And that is these liners that are parchment paper. And so it makes for cleanup in a breeze. And it does not affect the texture too much. It does affect it a little bit, so I know it going in. But if I was going to do chicken wings, unless they were saucy where I wanted them to kind of baste in the sauce, I would not use this. You've seen, I usually don't use this. I think I used this the last time I did wings because it was a saucy wing and I wanted that sauce to kind of reduce and be in there. But for making wings, I don't use these. But I also have flat ones because sometimes I don't necessarily need like them encapsulated. I just want to kind of help with cleanup on the bottom. So I have both kind that exactly fit my air fryer. But I love it, Arch. I think it's, honestly, it's a workhorse in my kitchen. So, and I'm not tired of it. And I know the size can be an issue for people, but I don't think the size is that bad. I mean, there's so many other things that we get for our kitchens, right? And if you use it all the time, it becomes part of your kitchen. So I'm definitely team air fryer. And then, can Hubs buy 500 copies, please? I will let him know that he is expected to buy 500 copies of Humble Pie, my friend Archie. And let's see here. Yeah, that is a great cause. I agree. Hubs is the richest man in Philadelphia, so he can buy 1,000 copies. No, we would never burn the pages you're on. You're so funny. I like the shelf one so I can cook blind page. Yes, so I understand that. I see why you would want that for sure. Yes. And like I said, they still do work, but they take even more space. So that's the thing to keep in mind is the ones that are more cubic in design. I know mine kind of is, but they're more like rectangular cubic, whatever that word is. Those do take up a little more room. So that's something to keep in mind too. But hey, I did want to let you all know while we're waiting for the Basque to be done is that I think, I took a couple weeks off unexpectedly because I needed to. I just needed to. So, and I do think being a content creator and especially being on social media, even the little bit that I am, and I'm not a big content creator and I'm not, the be-all, do-all on social media by any stretch. But sometimes we all need to step away and take a break. And so I definitely needed that this month. And with in mind that the holidays are quite busy next month, and I feel like it's going to come really quick, quite quick as a matter of fact, because Thanksgiving's so late this year, that I think it would be in my best interest and for my mental health to hold off and release a new schedule in January. I just feel like I will be in a better space. So I will still be posting on Blue Sky and Threads and Instagram. I will still be posting. And I will still I always drop the posts here on YouTube as well. For those who've never checked out my community tab, if you're new to me, check that out because it basically is where I kind of drop off different things that I'm eating or places I've been to where I'm eating at. So you can check that out there as well. And I also let you know and remind you of any upcoming live streams. But yeah, I'm going to wait until January to release my next schedule and start fresh in 2025. So that's my plan. So just wanted to let y'all know. I will post about it on social media because I know not everyone comes on the live stream. So just so everyone can know that I will not be having a live stream again until January. Now, if for some reason I all of a sudden, I don't know, get this crazy idea, I'm just going to all of a sudden do an impromptu live stream. I mean, you never know. Can't put it past me. But I just feel like I want to kind of focus on you know, my work, my family, the holidays, all of that, and then dive back into doing some food content in January. Because I love doing what I do, but it is a lot of work, and sometimes we feel pulled in so many directions. So yeah, so I just wanted to let you know that. And in case I'm inspired to make any videos or shorts, I will again post those, and I'll let people know on social media that I've done so. So just wanted to let y'all know, because I don't want you to worry about me, but I also feel like we need to take care of ourselves and do that. So yes, I will. So you were asking, DS was asking, what do you prepare for Thanksgiving that's not traditional? So we're pretty traditional in our family, I will say, and because I think of the backgrounds of our families, you know, growing up, my mom's side was Welsh, and my dad's side had German and Eastern European heritage. We actually did not have anything else unusual, like per our heritage, that was on the Thanksgiving table. I mean, a couple different sides would show up, so to speak, but I feel like, especially when I was growing up in the 70s and early 80s, I just feel like a lot, I now know about, not saying every family, but I think we're with my family and my friends' families, everyone was doing pretty traditional meals based upon what magazines were saying. You know what I mean? It was kind of that way. So now, do I do anything specific? So this year I'm in charge of the staple part, which is the turkey, the stuffing, the mashed potatoes, the gravy. And then my niece is making the cranberry sauce this year, and she makes a bourbon cranberry sauce, so yum. And actually that's a bourbon recipe that I actually do like. 'Cause you know I don't like most bourbon, at least not bourbon that's used in cocktails. That is not my jam. And then my nieces are also making a lot of, one's vegetarian, one's vegan. So there'll be lots of vegetarian sides. So on our Thanksgiving table, because of the mix of our families and different tastes, there's always lots of vegetable dishes. And they always bring, like there's usually some sort of Brussels sprouts dish, there's some squash dish, there's always lots of different varieties of vegetables, which is really cool. And then I make my pumpkin bread, so I'll be bringing that as well. So I don't have anything unusual on my table. And then my kids are helping out by bringing some desserts and appetizers before the big meal. So yeah, we're kind of really, we're very ordinary. But I do think what we do pretty well. So then Archie said, can you both get on the plane and spend Christmas with us? You're cooking, by the way. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be fun, Archie? That would be so fun. Unfortunately, I'm very fortunate to have my family here. But yes, it definitely is a family thing for us. And we'll be at my sister's house for Christmas, which will be wonderful. So how do I prepare my turkey? That's actually a good question, Dia. So I have done, and I'll probably be sharing them this week, because I have done a couple streams during which I'm doing my preparations. But I've been seeing lots of things swirling. And while we're waiting for this to be done, it's going to be done in a couple minutes, although we'll check it. Let me get out the thermometer while I'm chatting. How I do my turkey, there it is. 1 second. Is I dry brine. So I take out the turkey, I dry it off, and I season it just like I do my wings. I season it, but I just do it with salt. And I'm trying to think. I think I do salt and pepper, and so I sprinkle it, pat it, rub it all over. And then I let it air out at least a day in the fridge, and that way it ensures a crispy skin. So I don't liquid brine it, I dry brine it, and that just helps kind of flavor, and it just helps with, I think, with everything. Like really, I love doing it that way. The other thing I do that's a little bit different is I take all the giblets out and I roast them the day or two before with onions and carrots and celery. I roast it in the oven, and then I deglaze it with some chicken stock, and then then I put all of that with some of the deglazed chicken stock. I like scrape the pan so I can get all the goodies off, and then I do cook the stock. I put all that stuff and cook it, adding more carrots, celery, and onion, And I make a bunch of stock that I can use for the gravy as well as the stuffing, because I use it to moisten the stuffing. So that's something a little bit different, and it gives my gravy a darker color, which I really like, and a little more a deeper flavor, which I love. So that's one tip that I have, and one thing that I've been doing for years. I'll tell you a little bit more in a second. Let's check it out. So it's 25 minutes. We're going to get our thermometer and check that out. It does smell good. That is the color. That's the color you want, but you can see, like, it could even be darker. I've seen some that are darker. So we're going to test it. I'm going to, hey, Hubs, will you hold this while I take a temperature, please?
Yeah.
He's like, ugh, getting off the couch. Look at that. Beautiful. I'm going to turn it around a little bit. See how that's not as dark there? So I'm going to, like, do a little shifting with my tongs. Okay, can you hold that like that, just so we get a nice, good picture? I'm going to get my it's supposed to be, you're such, oh. Who's the one that says, you're an arse? Who says that? Isn't there a character that says it in something?
There is.
Okay.
Can't remember who though.
I'm trying to think.
You gonna stab it? What are you gonna do with that thing?
You have to go in an inch from there and an inch down. Oh, that looks good. Say 185. Oh, that went down. Although they did say,
What's that?
yeah, I might do just a little bit longer because that edge was not as good. Okay, hold it there. Let me just show them what I'm going to do. See how it's kind of more dark on the one side? So this is what I do in the oven too, is I'm going to rotate. Let me take my little tongs so I don't burn myself. I'm just going to rotate it like that so that side can get a little bit darker. I'm going to let it go. Let me put it back on here. Actually, you know what? I can just do this because then it gets on. I'm going to put it on for 2 more minutes. So I'll take this, love.
Have it on for 5 minutes.
I know. I'm putting it for just 2 minutes.
Why wouldn't you just put it on for 2 minutes?
Because it takes longer to set it all up. Don't question me. Hubs, I know what I'm doing. I'm setting my timer up here. So that's the preset that's quick and easy when you're getting it ready for preheating. So if I ever just want a blast for 5 minutes, I just press it. But Hubs doesn't use it, so he doesn't know, and that's okay.
You want me to set a timer?
I just set the timer. I just set the timer. We're good. Okay. All right. Let me go back to the chat. So what has been your favorite Philly stream this year? Oh, that's an interesting question. I think one of the ones I was most proud of was the second time I made the, what do they call it, the souffle, the second souffle I made. That was so exciting. I think that one was just, I don't know, I was really excited about that one. And my favorite, I feel like lately there's been quite a few that were, I feel like the past few months there's been a couple that were just really joyful. Let me go take a peek and see. That can't be done 2 minutes. Did I put 20 seconds? There's no way that's, what does your minute say?
What's that?
Never mind.
Well, the thing says 4 minutes up there, so it's probably...
Yeah, I put 20 seconds because the thing went up.
Proving once again, it would have been easier to set that one.
They can't hear you. La, 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 la. All right, let me see. I'm just going to look here because I need to see the ones I've done here. So let me just take a peek. DS, that's a really good question. Because my brain is just like thinking, what have I done lately? Let me take a peek here, friends. Okay, let me go to my content. Let me go to live. You know what? I really enjoyed the snickerdoodles. So it's funny, and I remember thinking this after the snickerdoodle, the snickerdoodle one, is there is something that is delightful about the baking content. I hadn't done as so much baking lately, and you know, when you're making a meal, because a lot of times the things I'm cooking on here, wow, that was fast. My goodness.
You probably did it for like another 20 seconds.
No, I didn't. I put it for a minute there. I'll finish my sentence and we'll check. And it's at 3 minutes, so that's about right. But anyways, what I was saying is that I feel like when you're baking something, you're less like rushed, right? Because there's always like a little bit of in between time. But when you're making something that you're going to have for a meal, like there's just intensity anyway. So there's certainly going to be more intensity on a stream. So I did find that the baking ones I enjoy a little more because we're not like about ready to, because we literally, when I make the food, we plate it and then we sit down to eat. So yeah, so I would say my baking ones were a reminder me of like those I need to make sure I'm putting in, I think at least maybe once a month, because I think I enjoy them more too, and I get to share some really great recipes. So let me just go back over. And speaking of which, what do you all want to see in the new year? That's what I'd like to know. Barbara, DS, Archie, do you have any things you're hoping to see in my content next year? All right, let me get this guy out of here. Wow. Oh my goodness. Now it's like evenly burnt, so to speak. Evenly Basque. All right, so I'm going to get, you know what, I'm going to put this on. Okay. I think I'll put this on here first. So it should be a little jiggly in the middle, and it definitely is. It's a little jiggly, getting jiggy with it. Now this is what's going to be tricky is I know the last time we made one of these, we did, let me just show it to you first. And I'm going to put it, let me just bring this over here so y'all can see, move all this stuff out of the way. So I'll show y'all. There you go. So you see that has that classic, quote, burnt look right there. Let's see. There we go. So I recall when we made it last time, I was also making deviled eggs. And you can see, by the way, you can see that it rose a little bit there. See that right there? Yep. But in any event, we ate it too soon because we had to, because we always eat the stuff. We can't sit there and like make something and not eat it. Like that would not be fair, right? You need like the true taste test. So I am going to wait just a little bit because I think we waited a little bit because I think we were making, the deviled eggs, and then I let it rest a little bit. I just don't remember how long I let it rest. But I feel like I'm going to, I got to figure, you know what we might have to do? Shucks. What I might need to do, because I do think we waited a little longer before we did this, because of doing a couple different recipes. At the time it was around Easter. I don't know if you recall, that's what I was making it for. I was going to bring it for Easter. Is I don't want to totally not only burn myself on this, because this is not meant to be eaten hot. And by the way, for the regular recipe, what you would do is you would let this cool off here, and then you do remove it and I think let it chill. Let me just check. Let me just give you that right information, because again, this is from King Arthur, where I got the advice for making it in the air fryer. So let me just go to his page real quick while we're here. I want to make sure I give you the right information. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let me just get up here. Come on, I want this. Let me just see real fast here, friends. Bear with me. Okay, here we go. So, remove the cheesecake from the oven, place it on a rack, cool the cake in the pan to room temperature before slicing. Unmold and serve the cheesecake at room temperature, or refrigerate and serve chilled. So this you can do either way. So the best thing for us to do is to leave it alone. However, I do want to be able to taste it. So because this is the only thing I'm doing today for the Basque cheesecake, I think what I'm going to do is I think we're going to cut a little bit from the top to give a taste for the flavor. And I think that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to let it come to room temperature in here, because what will happen is it still needs to set a bit, and so I don't want to take it out and take these down because it's helping give it some support right now, if that makes sense. And I think what happened was we had enough going on with the other stream where this was able to come to, I think it was still warm, but it wasn't hot like it is now. So I think that's what we're going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a plate and see how many times I can say do. And I'm just going to take, I think, a spoon. I'll take a knife first. Let me see which area is least pretty, because then I can have that be where the slice comes out later. I'm always thinking about the pretty, because we eat with our eyes, right? Okay, so this side's a little more suspect. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut in. So this is not, do not do this at home. This is, I'm being a naughty girl right now. This is not what you're supposed to do. But I do want to taste it for you all to give you an idea of the flavor. So I'm just going to go into this a little bit. Oh, it is warm. I'm going to let it cool. Oh. So this still has to set up, but let me just show you. So you can see, though, it is not liquid like it is. Let me just push it. See, it is firmed up there, and it will continue to firm up as it cools. But what is wonderful is the inside, especially the center part, is almost creamy. Like it is Basque cheesecake is definitely a different texture than regular cheesecake. Similar, but even more. Like, to me, the texture is even more wonderful. Like, it's just really good. Let me just let this cool a little bit. So again, do not dig into your Basque when you make it. Be patient. I'm just going to have the taste for the flavors to kind of give you some feedback. But let this come to room temperature. Then you can take off the parchment paper, and then it'll eventually be stored in the refrigerator. And some people prefer to serve their Basque chilled. So that's really up to you if you want it room temperature or chilled. We've had it both ways. It's good both ways. It's just good. So, but what is cool, and I will, when I am finished the cooling process, I will take a picture of it so you can see what it looks like unrobed. Because to me, that's what makes it beautiful. And if you want to look at, again, the live stream from the last time I made the traditional one, you can see that. So let me go back to see y'all and see if there's any chatting. Oh, hey, Amy. Oh my gosh, corn dogs. Oh, well, first of all, Amy, have you ever had a corn dog? I do have that question. I have never made a corn dog, but you know what? What I'm thinking immediately when you're saying that is there is a place. So where I get my fish, and this is going to not make sense, but where I get my fish, the fishmonger in the city, they are connected to this restaurant that smokes all their own meats. So actually that's where, when I did the bacon with on top of the smashed burger tacos, is that right how I said it? Yeah, smashed burger tacos with blue cheese. Their bacon is from El Camino, and it is amazing. And their hot dogs are amazing. So what I could do is I can try and schedule that when I know I can get those hot dogs, because that's the dogs. I know this might sound, I'm an American. I'm not a big hot dog person. I don't love them. But El Caminos I love. They're thinner, and they just have so much good flavor the way they smoke them. They're so good. So that's what I would use with them. That's a great idea, Amy. I'm definitely going to write that down. And Archie, you say that Amy is obsessed with it. Is it vanilla or a fruity one? We like lemon. Oh, remind me. What do you mean, Archie? Is what a lemon or a fruity one? I mean, is it a vanilla or a fruity one? Yes, let me know what you're meaning, because I think I might have missed it. And I'll continue looking down the comments because you might have specified. So I love the corn dog idea, Amy. That's great. And maybe we do that towards the summer, because that's such like a summer carnival food that people get at carnivals around here. So maybe that's like more of a summer one. That's a great idea. And of course, you know what my mind is already thinking of? Can I do it in the air fryer? We shall see. So let's see here. Dia said, more grandma dishes, and Andy cooking again. They want to see you cooking, Hubs. Oh, He said no one wants to see that. I keep telling him that people enjoy his curmudgeonry. What is the word I'm saying? I don't know what the word I'm saying. Let me see here. Kelly, wonderful. Hi, Kelly. Welcome to the stream. I'm so glad you popped in to say hello. And again, right now, as I mentioned in my post, the Basque cheesecake that is on the picture right now is not mine. That is from, I'm forgetting her name, but I gave her credit for it. I was just looking for a good one because I hadn't made the pumpkin one yet. Once I have it, I'll take pictures. I will replace it with mine. So Kelly, you'll get to see what it looked like, and I will post it on all the social media so you can see as well. And Archie said in France, the town of Agen has a prune festival to celebrate harvest. They make it with juicy prunes, and it's bloody superb. Gâteau au pruneau. Oh, is that with, are you talking about the cranberry sauce, Arch? Oh, Arch, I need to know what you're talking about because I don't think I'm following you unless I missed something. Let me see if I missed something. Corn dogs? No. So Archie, clarify the whole thing with fruity or vanilla or lemon and the connection with France. She's never made them. Oh, this one. Oh, they've made the Basque. Ooh. Oh, I think the Basque would be amazing. Not yet. I'm just delaying it. Cool. It would be amazing. And then DS said, I would like to see more grandma dishes. Actually, there is one. So either next month, I'm not streaming, but either next month or in January, I wanted to make these cookies that my grandma used to make. So these other cookies I haven't made yet for y'all. So if I do, I might do a video. So thank you for the more grandma dishes. And there are still more grandma dishes I need to make, some savory ones as well. And let's see here. Thank you for clarifying, Archie. I'm sorry. I'm such a, like you know me. I'm dense at times. Let's see. Alert the fire department. Yes, I see what you're saying. Agen is about an hour from Basque Country. Oh, thank you, Archie. Thank you. See, like I said, you know so much more about this than I do. So Hubs just said, we're going to taste. So I'm going to get a taste, and then you can have a taste. Oh. That's really good. And you know what I like about it is I am not a pumpkin pie person. I love pumpkin everything. I don't like pumpkin pie. And what I like about that is that gives me clear pumpkin pie vibes without being what I don't like about pumpkin pie.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And I'm a pumpkin pie guy.
And
I
he
don't
does.
like pumpkin, but I don't like pumpkin.
Well, you like it how I make it.
And stuff
Oh,
like
right. But
I like pumpkin.
But I've made pumpkin mac and cheese. I've done pumpkin things that you like.
Yeah.
But yes, yeah,
Very
it
good.
doesn't have a pumpkin pie vibe.
Definitely it's pumpkin.
Definitely, yeah. Oh, this is good. And for me, again, thank you, babe. He just said nice work. Love it. So yes, this is delicious. So I do want to let it set. I'll take some pictures. I'll share it with you all once it's good to go. This was lovely. I'm going to miss you all. I hope you all have and Kelly, it was so wonderful for you to drop on. Barbara, it's always good seeing you. And same with DS and Archie. I feel like you three are my OG. And I know Kathy might be watching from afar. So hi, Kathy, if you're watching from afar. Another OG. And Amy, it's always great for you to pop in. I hope you're having a good school year. And is there anybody else? I think that was it. So friends, this was lovely. Like I said, I won't be gone from social media. I'm just going to give my YouTube a break till the end of the year, kind of get myself set up for a new year, January 2025. So friends, this was lovely. Stay tuned for the pictures of the final result. And until we eat again, I hope everyone that celebrates Thanksgiving in America has a wonderful Thanksgiving. Archie, I hope you have a great weekend and a wonderful week ahead, you and Amy. And until we eat again, friends, bye.